Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Well, to be very honest, in my past 15 years career of business, this ERP initiative in our company was the toughest decision that I had to take, because it was an investment budget outlay was about 1.25 crores. I was paranoid, and equally so when we spoke to many people from the industry had a similar bad experience, or people were giving us various painted pictures saying that scenes were not so good after going online with ERP. With all this, but then we had to take a decision, and in my part of the presentation I would say what convinced us to go for ERP. The first is, if you look at digitalization, the challenges were completely different. The markets were sluggish, or markets were very poor, non-availability of technology, and adequate finance was not available. In the sense, finance were expensive. But post-globalization, from 1992, what we are talking at 2010, the current scenes of challenge are completely different, where we are talking about competition, shortened product life cycle, and the business is risky, or it's very risky, extremely risky, and so on. So these are the major challenges. Between the post and the pre, if you take the pre-globalization challenge, it was all completely external. Somebody had to take a decision, like Dr. Manmohan Singh has to open up the economy. Markets have to improve because purchasing powers have to come. So many things were there which was completely external, and the entrepreneur was just showing his fingers outside. What can I do? What can I do? Etc., etc. But gentlemen, today the scene is completely different, where we are talking the challenges is completely internal. One, competition, we have to win as an entrepreneur. Every scene is set, everything is okay. Product life cycle, we have to be innovative and faster, and thereafter the risk we have to take, how much, the quantum of risk the entrepreneur has to decide. Then what happens? It's so important that your net worth within the organization is accurate, timely, and not only that, we need to have it, because in various organizations we have highlands of information. With ERP around, one of the objectives we said is we'll spend about 1.25 crores, go ahead, and we started the journey in 1995. What did we do? The business challenges were extremely competitive. The product range what we manufacture, the lowest range is 3 lakhs. At the upper, the product is about 1 crore, 15 varieties of products, 3,000 components in each product, highly focused on outside processing, because we don't have a big machine shop. Everything is given out and it is got in. We hardly have about 2 lathes and vertical machines of about 4 or 5, but everything is outsourced. Needless to say, we're talking about best practices, migration. Hearing today morning Mr. Krish saying next practices too. So this is what was the challenge that we had in India. What approach did we do? The most important thing is engaging a highly knowledgeable consultant. What we did was, we hired a consultant who played a very important role in terms of bridging the implementer, the software provider, and the customer. This was one of the important decisions that we took, and this consultant guided us very well into the journey, and there were no showstoppers post 2007 when we went on live, and we went on live on February the 7th, 2007. It was a year ending, but even then we took the risk because the confidence in the team was so high that we need to go live irrespective of the scenario of year-end activities being very high in the company. Second, we named the project Bright, where the objectives were clearly laid down. The objective not only by the management, each department went ahead with the objectives. For example, the objectives were something like administrative lead time reduction, procurement lead time reduction, talking about inventory turns, balance sheets within 3 days, etc., etc. So the objectives were for every department. Every department had the objective, followed by formalization of a multi-core team fixing clear responsibilities. It was not an IT initiative. In our company, when we took about the ERP, We never asked our IT department to spearhead it. Rather, the top management had a leader, and it was not an IT initiative, and every individual was involved. The core team was picked up from procurement, design, blah, blah, all departments. And the other thing was full-fledged ERP product demos using specific business case study. Before selecting a product, every vendor was given a case study of 5 or 6 situations. The whole team will sit and they were asked to make a presentation, and based on the presentation, the product was selected. Everybody came in and made a presentation, all the vendors, and when we asked for it, in fact on the first presentation, the vendors weren't prepared. They just came in with a standard presentation, and then our team started firing questions, and it was an embarrassing situation for the vendor. And eventually vendor said, no, please give us a chance, we'll go back and come again. They came again, made a presentation, and the team selected the product. The last one, scientific evaluation of the vendor, implementer involving. Implementer was also very important because we need a stable implementer to move forward. Just tell me when last 5 minutes. Clear defined objective strategy was resources was pegged in, objectives were spelled out, resources were, the guidelines were given. Freedom in operations, commitment by top management was excellent because we were committed to see that this ERP initiative is a success in Autoprint. Empower team, rewards and recognition. And the average age was 27 years. Stable implementation team from Hexaware, where the 7 people who were on board were completely through the project. There was no attrition or anything. We saw to that we had a very stable team, no resources constraint, timely availability of hardware, software and this thing, and we took close to 18 months before we went ahead with going live. It was not a shoddy job of 6 months and 4 months, and we are very, very clear that this is an important